bachelor's degree in business offered fully at Kent State Trumbull. And we are so glad that you've joined us. We have some presenters on today. We have a current student, a former student, two of our business faculty, as well as our Director of Enrollment Management and Student Services. So let's start out with a quick welcome for Dr. Ritter. He is our Director of Enrollment Management and Student Services.
Thank you. Thank you and welcome. This program is near and dear to my heart. My undergrad and master's degree are both in business. And like most students, I changed my major into business, kind of floundered around with a few different majors, and just really wasn't excited about what I was learning, really wasn't enthralled with what I was learning. Once I got into business, I loved it. And the years just flew by. It went so fast because I really enjoyed the material I was learning. And like a small percentage of schools, Kent State University is accredited by AACSB. That's the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. I think worldwide, it's something like less than 20% of business schools are accredited by AACSB. And you'll find that out once you get into the courses, because there is quality that comes with that accreditation. So welcome, I'm glad you're here, and feel free to ask us any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ritter. And as you watch this video, I'm sure you will notice there is a sense of quality that we have at Kent State University. Kent State University at Trumbull carries that quality, and we're going to start out by hearing from one of our students in the business program. Patrick is headed into his senior year in earning his bachelor's degree in business management. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us. And would you mind starting out by telling us why you chose Kent State Trumbull, and what do you think sets this campus apart from other options that students may have?
You're welcome, Melissa. Thanks for having me. I chose Kent State Trumbull as I was kind of coming back to college because of being able to finish the management degree at the Trumbull campus, the affordable price it offers, really just set it apart from the other local options we have.
Awesome, thank you so much. So we've mentioned quality, now we've also mentioned affordability. So those are two trademark features of Kent State Trumbull. Another question for you, Patrick, why did you choose business management? What are you hoping to do with this degree?
The business management degree really gives you a huge degree of flexibility in future career paths you can choose. Personally, I want to go into project management when I'm finished here.
Awesome. And you've got just about a year left, less than a year, you'll be graduating with that degree. Awesome. One more question to you. What is one of your favorite parts of being a student at Kent State Trumbull? Maybe a favorite moment in the business program, something that stands out to you from your time so far?
Well, the best part about Kent State Trumbull is the professors here. You'll hear from Dr. Antenucci and Dr. Ratican later in the broadcast. I might be buttering up for some future classes here, but they're really great. The real world experience they bring to the classroom from everyone who's taught us so far. Everybody, Dr. Shai in economics, everybody has been great.
Thanks for sharing that, Patrick. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being here. And we wish you the best as you head into senior year.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So now we've mentioned quality, we've mentioned affordability, and now we've mentioned professors. Those are three top reasons students come to Kent State Trumbull. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our professors. Two of our wonderful business professors are on live today. We have Dr. Sean Ratican and Dr. Robert Antenucci. Both of them are here, and I'm going to ask them to start out by sharing where they got their education and what their experience is in the field. So Dr. Antenucci, would you like to go first?
Sure, Melissa, thanks. So I started out kind of in I think as Patrick mentioned, one of the advantages that Dr. Ratican and I bring is that we have a lot of practical experience. So my undergraduate's in chemical engineering, and I worked for one of the largest oil companies in the world for about 10 years as a process design engineer and then a strategic analyst. While I was in Chicago, I got my MBA from the University of Chicago, a concentration in finance, and some excellent faculty and experience there. After that, I owned and operated my own construction company. We had about 75 employees and typically would do about 5 million to 7 million a year in sales. And I did that for about 15 years. I think I always wanted to gravitate back towards the classroom, though. I went back and got my doctorate at Kent State. And for the last 15 years, I've been teaching throughout the Kent State system. But I think the 25 years of practical business experience really complements the academic credentials that I bring, and I think that Dr. Ratican bring.
Thank you. And Dr. Ratican, you want to share where you received your education and what your experience is?
Thank you. So yeah, my undergrad was from the University of Massachusetts. It's an undergrad degree in community studies. My master's degree was from Old Dominion University in Virginia. And my PhD was from a small private college in Kentucky called the University of the Cumberlands. And like Dr. Antenucci, I have what I would consider, a fairly successful career as an executive, in both the public and the private sector. I've managed almost, I've been a part of almost $500 million in projects, economic development projects here in Northeast Ohio. I've managed a loan fund. I've written more than $4 million in grants from the state and the federal level. I ran a public utility, a raw water plant. And, my most recent position was the executive director of a public economic development agency. We had an annual budget that was in the $4 to $5 million range, and it varied with capital improvement projects. And I think that's, like Dr. Antenucci and everybody before me has eloquently stated, I think that's the advantage that we bring here at Kent State Trumbull is not only do you have experienced field members that have PhDs and terminal degrees, but we also bring that experience out of the boardroom, out of the business room. And there's a definite advantage to having professors who have walked the walk, talked the talk, managed projects, put together finance deals, and helped entrepreneurs start their own business. And I think that's what gives us the advantage at Kent State Trumbull. But I'm a little bit biased.
Thank you so much. Thank you both. And yes, I'm sure that experience makes the classroom talks come alive a little bit more. It's not just textbook and theories and stuff. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. We mentioned at the beginning, we have an associate degree as well as a bachelor's degree in business management. Let's start out, Dr. Antenucci. Do you mind sharing about the AAB in business management? What is that?
Sure. So the AAB is the Associate of Applied Business and Business Management. And the associate degree, the 2-year degree, it emphasized development of practical business skills. Basically, one of the things I like about the associate degree is that it allows you to dip your toe in the college environment and see if it's right for you. We've talked about the quality and the cost both being advantages at Kent, the tuition at Kent State Trumbull and the quality that you get are real advantages. The degree really prepares you to start for a business career in any entry-level job. It provides a solid foundation in business, teaches you critical thinking, problem solving, leadership skills. Dr. Ratican does a great job with students imparting his specialty is in leadership, teamwork, and just how to succeed in a professional business environment. As someone who ran a company, in terms of interviewing prospective future employees, you're going to look at somebody who's got an associate degree in a better light than somebody who's just coming in with a high school diploma. The AAB brings you higher earnings potential, better job security, greater career opportunities, better opportunities for advancement, and do a lot of entry-level business positions. And I'm going to let Dr. Ratican speak about how it can also benefit some of our students who are looking to start and run their own landscaping business. So Dr. Ratican, do you want to jump in on that one?
Absolutely. So one of the advantages of that degree is that we have, Northeast Ohio, the economy here in Northeast Ohio, it's really built on small businesses. Small businesses make up something like 70% of the economy here. So we really rely on that entrepreneur that's going to start a business, whether it's a landscaping business, you're going to open up your own hair salon, you're going to, hopefully hang a shingle and be an accountant one day. I've run into in my professional career and as a professor at Kent State, some of the best students we had have that entrepreneurial spirit. And that's what's so great about this degree. It's so broad, right? So whatever you're passionate about, whether it be entrepreneurship, whether it be numbers for finance and accounting, you can come into this degree and you can really learn either how to run a business or how to be a successful leader or part of that business. And that's really what successful businesses, really what sets them apart. It's their employees, right? So you can have two businesses that sell the same exact widget, that produce it the same exact way, but one business treats their employees a little bit better. That's the competitive advantage that we see in Northeast Ohio. And that's what your Kent State degree will bring you. It brings you that leadership, the ability to be a professional. A lot of students today want to walk out of high school, make $40,000, $50,000 right out of high school with a high school diploma. The reality of the situation is the difference, the earning potential between a high school graduate and a graduate with a bachelor's degree is about $1 million over the course of your career. If you look at the workforce of Northeast Ohio, the entire region of Northeast Ohio, less than 19% of workers have a 4-year degree. Less than 30% of workers have a 2-year degree. So really, that's what we're talking about. It's that competitive advantage. We're not going to teach you, how to do manufacturing here. We're not going to teach you how to be a welder. We're going to teach you how to be a professional. We're going to teach you how to come in. We're going to teach you how your business is going to rely on you and how you can build your career going forward. That's really the advantage of the degree here at Kent State Trumbull.
Thanks for sharing. So that's the AAB. Now we're going to talk about the BBA, not to make too much of a play on letters, but Dr. Ratican, can you explain what is the BBA in business management?
So really that's kind of the next step, right? So I would suggest anybody coming right out of high school, if you're not really sure what you want to do, the AAB, that's for you, right? Once you get that AAB degree and you really want to set yourself apart, now we're talking about a bachelor's degree. And that's, again, we offer that at Kent State Trumbull. And really as a former employer, what I was looking for education, right? So I've hired and fired hundreds of consultants, employees, contractors over the course of, the 20 years that I was in the public and private sector. And whenever I was looking at an applicant, I always wanted to see what their story was, right? And in the cold hard truth of it, not to be crass, but honestly, as an employer, if you hand in a resume and you've just got a high school diploma, I want to know why, right? Why did you stop your education at high school? Because as adults, we all know that lifelong learning is crucial, right? You need to learn something new every single year, every single day. You need to constantly build that skill set. Well, the AAB gives you that good foundation. To build on that, if you really want to set yourself apart, again, less than 19% of all the workforce in Northeast Ohio has a bachelor's degree. So that bachelor's degree, that refines those general skills that you built in the AAB, and it kind of hones it, right? So now you get to take Dr. Antenucci, and he's got some great finance classes, right? You would be surprised how many people graduate high school can't balance a checkbook. Well, you go into the real world and you apply for a job with me in my former career, and you want $40,000 a year, and you want me to put you in charge of a $600,000 grant, and you're pulling down money from the federal government that you shouldn't be pulling down because you don't know how to balance a budget. That's a concern for me. So as an employer, I was always looking for that bachelor's degree, and even one step further with a master's degree. And I think what we do really well at Kent State Trumbull, students like Patrick, Rachel, April, all these students that have been successful for Dr. Antenucci and I think we really prepare them. We take them from that AAB, right? And then we prepare them for the bachelor's degree, and then we move them on. And I know Patrick's going to apply for grad school, man. I'm just waiting to get an email from him because he wants to go for his MBA. And that's what the bachelor's degree does. And we do it at such a great rate. If you look at our tuition compared to most of the other, even state universities here, I mean, it's just such a great bargain. And as a business person, that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for ROI, return on investment. And for, what is it, $7,000 a year, you can get educated at Kent State Trumbull and have that AACSB degree. And that number, Dr. Ritter, that number is less than 10% worldwide. I think that's the advantage of our bachelor's degree at Kent State Trumbull.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. That's some really good information. And if you need to rewind this and, listen to this again in a little bit, do that, because that's some great information for you. So we are going to take a little break, give our professors a break to maybe get a drink or something. We're going to hear from another student. Nicole is on, she graduated last December with her bachelor's in business management from Kent State Trumbull. She was a high achieving student, honors student, as well as a tutor in the Learning Center. So Nicole, thank you for joining us today. And can you start out by telling us why you chose business management?
Hi, thank you for having me. When I first applied to Kent State Trumbull, I was undecided. I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I was heavily considering journalism, actually, but business had always been in my back pocket. I had always been considering that as an option, just in case I didn't know. I thought it would be the safest bet for me. And then I went to a technical school my junior and senior year, and they had offered me a 2-year scholarship for Kent State Trumbull if I were a declared business major. So I said I had been considering business anyway, and I would have 2 years of my schooling paid for. So why not? And that's how I basically decided that I wanted to be a business student, because I just loved the classes after that.
Thank you, Nicole. So, and congratulations on the scholarship too.
Thank you.
So let's say a student is thinking about doing a business program, but they're wondering what the classes are like. Can you paint a little bit of a picture of what it's like to be in a business class?
Okay, so a lot of different classes are set up differently. It just depends upon the professor. Some of them are more lecture based. Some of them are group work intensive, writing intensive. Some of them will have you complete a project by the end, and some of them are just tests. It really depends upon the nature of the class and the professor's personal teaching style. I know some of my favorite classes had group projects in them, and it brings the whole class together, honestly. And since the classes are so small to begin with, that's what I think is one of the greatest things about the business classes at Kent Trumbull, because they're so small. By the end of my senior year, I was friends with almost every single person in my program. And I just think that that's awesome.
That's great. That kind of leads into my next question, actually. What was one of the best parts about being a business student?
Okay, like I said, one of the best parts about being a business student is the actual real world experience that the professors bring to classes. I had one marketing class my senior year where the professor brought in 2 different nonprofit organizations, and we helped them increase their marketing strategy. We analyzed their social media presence, their website, and we helped them better their social media presence. We created content for them. We gave them advice on how to make their websites more appealing and just different things like that. So the actual real life marketing experience that we were able to gain in that class was absolutely priceless.
Awesome, thank you. Now, do you mind sharing a favorite memory during your time at Kent State Trumbull, whether it's business related or not?
I have so many. I Loved all 4 years of my college experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Some of my favorite moments were being a student employee. I was a student employee in the bookstore and in the Learning Center. And I was also a part of the 2019 homecoming court, which was amazing. Completing my honors thesis was awesome. I have way too many.
Well, that's good. That's a little snapshot of your Trumbull experience. And now I'm wondering, why did you choose Kent State Trumbull? And what do you think sets us apart from other options?
Well, honestly, those kind of go hand in hand for me. Kent State Trumbull is really close to my house. I knew that that's where I was going to apply and that's where I was going to go even before I had actually applied. I knew that's where I wanted to go. It was small and it was affordable.
Awesome. And what advice would you give to students considering the business program?
That's a hard question too. I have so much advice for incoming freshmen in general, but one of my biggest tips is talk to your professors. One of the benefits about our classes being so small is that your professors are more available to you. They're not teaching classes of 100 students. They're teaching maybe a class of 10 to 20. So they're more available to you. Talk to them, take advantage of their knowledge, ask them questions. If you're struggling in a class, they will help you. Just talk to your professors is basically my biggest tip.
Thank you so much, Nicole. We really appreciate that. We're going to hear in the very end, we're going to hear from another student who was not able to be here today, but she wrote us some advice for future students and a little bit about her journey towards her business degree. We're going to ask our professors a couple more questions now. One popular topic these days, even pre-COVID, is online school versus in-person classes. And some people want a fully online program. Some people don't want to do any online classes. Dr. Antenucci, would you mind summarizing for us what classes, how much of the program can you do online or in person? What's the ratio there?
Forgot to unmute there, sorry. So we've geared up so that we can offer students both options. I think Dr. Ratican and I both prefer to meet face-to-face with our students, but we have structured things so that we will meet online with our students as well and can deliver content and learning experience classes online. We've got really great technology and support so that those online platforms can be synchronous, which means real-time dialogue between the student and the faculty member. And you can go through the entire program really if you want online. Like I said, although I don't want to speak for Dr. Ratican, but I know personally that I very much prefer to get in the classroom and roll up my sleeves with the student.
Thank you, Dr. Antenucci. Dr. Ratican, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I mean, Dr. Antenucci is a legend, so I would never build on what he's got to say. I would just say from my own personal experience, I didn't even know Nicole was on this video, so I'm excited because that's what I love about Kent State Trumbull, right? I know Nicole, and I didn't even know she was here, and I'm excited to see Nicole. Nicole, what's going on? How you doing? So, I haven't seen her since she had me for her capstone course, and I want to hear how, grad school is going for her, and I was excited to see Patrick, and I know Rachel's the other student, and I had her, for a class last semester. She's taking me twice next year. That's what's really great about Kent State Trumbull. The online classes are great. And I feel, as somebody who's barely under 40, I did my master's online and part of my PhD. I get the online thing, right? I have a 4 and a 5-year-old. Online's great. We excel at online. But where we truly offer this fantastic degree is when you can come in excuse me, and you can take Dr. Antenucci and you can pick his brain about all the great things that he's learned in his career, and you can come in and you can suffer through my classes and have your senior capstone like Nicole did, and we would meet for 3 hours at night after everybody's getting off work, and it's such a family feeling. We had potluck dinners, and I'd hear how Nicole comes from in a very interesting background, and Patrick's the same thing, and Rachel's the same thing. And that's what I truly enjoy about the face-to-face classes, is getting to know those students, because as much as they're all talking positively about us, I learn way more from them than they do from me. And that's what I really appreciate about Kent State Trumbull, is that it's like a family. It really is. So, and I can say that it's going to be my second year full time, and everybody's just treated me great, from administration to the students to my other faculty. I probably wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Dr. Antenucci. Clearly, I'm calling in from negotiating car deals here. So that's how much we care about this program, and it's just great to have all that option. Whatever works best for the students, online or in person. But that's what we love about the program. It's just really flexible. It's great.
All right, thank you for that. I think if you're watching this, you can probably tell business classes are not boring. I'm going to ask each of these professors to share what are some of the classes you teach. Dr. Antenucci, do you want to go first?
Sure, thanks, Melissa. So Sean and I, one of the advantages from the breadth of our experiences that we're able to teach a lot of classes. So everything for me from business, introduction to business, to different management classes, operations management, leadership, the business policy and strategy, which Dr. Ratican is teaching now and doing a phenomenal job. My main focus is in the finance end of the classes, personal finance. I teach fundamentals of financial management for the AAB program, business finance, and then I've also taught the financial policy capstone class for the finance majors.
And Dr. Ratican?
Yeah, it's the same story for me. It's just we've got a lot of experience, and that enables us to be really flexible. Really, whatever the students need as we walk them through the degree, we're able to pick up a lot of those different classes. I teach everything from the intro courses to, like Dr. Antenucci said, the leadership course is my favorite right now. And, I teach the capstone for the business policy and strategy course. So it's been great. It's really been a great experience.
Thank you. All right, just a couple more questions. If you were talking with a student who was thinking about considering the business degree, why would you encourage them to choose that? Or who would you encourage to choose this degree?
I would honestly encourage anybody. I would say if you're in high school and you want to be a nurse, then you absolutely, we have a great nursing program at Kent State, go be a nurse. But if you're not sure what you want to be when you grow up, and I haven't figured it out yet either, come be a business major, right? Because it's got such a breadth of experience. Patrick said it earlier. You can do anything from start your own business to find out you're a numbers person. Take Dr. Antenucci. He teaches great finance classes. A lot of the students love him, and they found out, I didn't even like numbers in high school, but it really works. And they go on to do that. I would say the advantage of our degree is really that it really can appeal to anybody. Because as I said before, if you plan on growing in your career, if you plan on being a leader, whether or not you're going to run your own company or you're going to be the most important person at your business, the business management degree is for you, because we're going to teach you how to be a professional. We're going to teach you how to run a business. We're going to teach you how to make a profitable business, and you're going to have a lot of fun along the way.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Antenucci, do you have anything to add to that?
As per usual, my esteemed colleague takes all the best parts. Melissa, that's why I tried to get in first, because he just takes all the good stuff, and so larger than life. I don't know what I'd do without him, though. I think just to emphasize the one thing, I think it's really important. I think Dr. Ratican and I both try and focus on skills that are transferable. Right. So so in the business finance class, we talk a lot about techniques that you can use in your own personal life in terms of how you would apply them to financial decisions, like Dr. Ratican in his new car. Are you buying or are you leasing? Don't answer that. He'd take up all the rest of the time, Dr. Ratican. The mortgage or rent, those types of things. We try and really spend a lot of time teaching just critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, how to analyze a situation. That I think it's a skill set that transcends just the business world. And I know that Dr. Ratican spends a lot of time on those things, and I do as well. So really, it can relate to so many areas. You could, I have friends that have children that went into nursing and also got a business degree because they want to get into, some type of, fast growing field, healthcare, exploding right now. So yeah, I think all of those are really good points.
Thank you. And we'll let you go first on this next question, and then we'll pass it back over to Dr. Ratican. What one piece of advice would you give to a student who wants to succeed in the business management program?
One, two, do I get just one? Just kidding, Dr. Ratican. Okay, so we'll focus on one. I think we really do have exceptional faculty that have just a wide range of experience, and faculty that really care about their students and are invested in their students' success. So my biggest piece of advice is keep an open mind and that lifelong learning desire, and that you're going to do great in the program.
Did you want to add anything to that, Dr. Ratican?
Oh, I mean, he's taking all the good parts. It's hard to keep up. I think Nicole hit it right on the head, right? She said, communicate with your professors. And so that's more of a, a life lesson than just a business degree. I would say, that the hardest jump for me, I did really well in high school. And I did not do really well the first couple of years of college. It was hard because nobody taught me how to learn, right? It was very easy for me to get high marks in high school. And when I got to college, I mean, nobody's holding your hand. So I would say my advice for incoming freshmen is absolutely communicate. Dr. Antenucci and I are very understanding, but we can't help you if you're not talking to us. If you tell us, this is going on, or my aunt's sick, or, my grandmother has COVID and I need time off, always happy to give an extension. But I think the students that I really care more about than they care about their degree, that's the hard part. We want you to succeed. We want you to come into this program, and whatever's going on in the outside world, we've been there. We understand. I wasn't a great undergrad student. I really struggled in undergrad. And for me, the master's degree was easier. And it's probably because of my wife that I lost a bet and I had to get a PhD. So, I've been there. I understand. Anything you guys are going through, we understand. My advice for incoming freshmen, communicate.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to each of you. We're going to close with some words from Rachel, a current business student. She's getting ready to graduate this December, and she wrote up some answers for our questions for us. And the first was, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right. The first was, why did you choose business, and what do you hope to do with this degree? So she says, truthfully, I chose business management as my major because I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do following graduation. I generally knew I wanted to do something involved with business, but that was about as far as I knew. Through my time and experience at Kent Trumbull, I actually found what I love and what I want to do come December. During my junior year, I picked up a minor in marketing and plan to go back for my master's to further my knowledge in the marketing field. Eventually, I would love to be the head of a marketing department for a Fortune 500 company and plan events and run social media. We wish you the best in that, Rachel. That's awesome. All right, I'm having trouble advancing my slides. There we go. What has been your favorite class so far? She could not choose one. So first she said Intro to Marketing, which obviously introduced her to marketing and helped her fall in love with the subject. Her other favorite courses have been because of the professors she had for them: Business Case Sustainability with Dr. Ratican, and Personal Financial Planning, Business Finance, and Fundamentals of Financial Management with Dr. Antenucci. Why did you choose Kent State Trumbull? Halfway through my sophomore year, I ran into health issues and came home. So even though Kent State Trumbull somewhat fell into my lap, I have loved every second of my experience at this campus. Two of the best professors I have had over the last 6 years are at Kent State University at Trumbull. I have met so many incredible individuals and have enjoyed the small class size. And finally, what advice would you give to new students? And Rachel put up more advice than this. So if you want, just reach out to me and I'll give you the whole thing. But this goes along with what our professors are saying too, and Nicole. Go to your professors and or tutoring if you are struggling with a course. I never once had a professor here at Kent Trumbull that made me feel like I could not seek assistance from them. And number two, enjoy your college years. Even though at the beginning it seems like it will take forever to get to the point of graduating, it goes faster than I can put into words. So look at your college years as a time to learn, experience new things, and have fun. Always do the best you can and do not give up on your degree, no matter how hard it may get. So thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Dr. Ritter, Dr. Antenucci, Dr. Ratican, Patrick, and Nicole. Thank you, and we hope you have a great rest of your summer.
Thanks, Melissa.